Welcome back to the Cold Lake mayoral debate on Around the Region. We're in the middle of formal question period, and it is Ms. Palahowski's first turn to speak. So we're going to go with the third question here. This question comes to us from Walter Hersayak, chairman of the Northern Lights District School Board. He would like to ask, what is your forecast for future growth for the city of Cold Lake and the need for additional education infrastructure?
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, could you just repeat that first part again?
He says, what is your forecast for future growth for the city of Cold Lake and the need for more additional educational infrastructure? We'll restart the clock there.
Okay, for the future growth of Cold Lake, we do need to attract commercial and industry to our area to enlarge our tax base. This present council, we developed a program that allows for new businesses to come to our area to get a tax credit on their taxes for the first 5 years that they are in business, and as well as it allows for renovations of our existing businesses as well. So we're hoping that this will be an attractive program to bring new business to our area, and that'll definitely help with the growth and development. I also believe that we want to make Cold Lake a community of choice. So we have infrastructure problems. We've got roads that are in serious need of repair with potholes, and so we need to look after our streets, our roads, and our water and our sewer, because we do want to be attractive. We want business to come to our area, but we also want our families to come as well to locate in our community. And as far as schools, we have had 3 new schools in our area in the last little while, and so we're quite excited about what has happened in Cold Lake with new schools, and we've got renovating of existing schools as well. So I feel right now we do have, the good education programs in our school. We just had Portage College that just opened up a year ago, but I already hear that they're bursting at the seams, and so they may need to expand there as well.
I'm just going to have to cut you off there, sorry, but we're going to switch it over to Mr. Copeland. Fourth question from Walter Hersayak, chairman of the Northern Lights District School Board. He asks, what is your forecast for future growth for the city of Cold Lake and the need for additional education infrastructure?
Well, those that don't know, cities right now are just over 14,000 people, and there's about 2,700 in the county around the city of Cold Lake. Plus you got Cold Lake First Nations, which is a growing population. So, it's pretty safe to say with the recent oil sands approvals from Cenovus and Imperial Oil and OSUM, and the new fighter jet coming in, that our growth is going to be pretty rampant for the next few years, and probably it's safe to say at least another 3,000 people will be in our region within 5 years. One of the things that people don't realize is our oil sands, they don't use big camps. So Imperial Oil is going to be operating 1,000 to 1,500 people will be in our community 2 winters from now working, and they're all going to be in the rental market. Whether or not they bring a lot of families, but certainly the operator jobs will. And so I think you're going to see steady growth. For those that don't know, Cold Lake North School, the elementary school, is working out of portables. It's busting at the seams. And certainly the Cold Lake Elementary School needs to look at from the province to invest in our schools. So it's a big issue, and certainly the province needs to come in and look at the schools and invest in new infrastructure.
Excellent. We'll move on to questions here. This question comes to us from the Cold Lake Chamber of Commerce. Now, just to fill our viewers in before I ask this question, Moose Lake in Bonnyville has become contaminated. It's going to cost them upwards of $6 million to upgrade their water treatment facility. Alberta Environment did a study that concluded the problem could safely be solved by running a pipeline from Cold Lake into Bonnyville. There's been a lot of debate surrounding this topic. So the Chamber would like to ask, where do you stand on the waterline extension and why? Take us away, Craig.
Well, the water is a big issue right now politically, and just in the community itself, it's a real hot button. But certainly what people have to realize that there was part of the Water for Life strategy that they were going to push water from Cold Lake down to Bonnyville to Keewan to Glen and to Therian. And that was about 4 or 5 years ago. This council, through the RUSC Commission, has put a halt to that grant application because primarily is the downstream users. Saskatchewan were never part of the puzzle. For those that don't know, Cold Lake is filled through Saskatchewan from Primrose Lake, And so I think it's as important for everybody to be good stewards to make sure that if someone's filling your cup of water every day, that you make sure that they have a cup of water at the other end. So there's First Nation communities in Saskatchewan that are up in arms right now that they were never consulted, and you've got communities like Good Soil that that utilize Cold Lake water, and it travels through a series of lakes and into the Waterhen River, and eventually goes to Hudson Bay. So we put a halt to this. It needs proper study because Alberta Environment has only said 65,000 people can utilize Cold Lake water. So we need to understand who those 65,000 people are, and the Saskatchewan people should be part of that debate. And in the report, it's also recommended that the town of Bonnyville improve their water treatment plant. And really, that's what the people should be asking their council to be doing.
Thank you. We'll turn it over here. Where do you stand on the water line extension to Bonnyville, and why?
Well, I sit as a chair on the commission, and we decided to withdraw our support for the application because we felt we had too many unanswered questions. We've been asking questions like, what is the impact on our lake in the next 20 to 30 years with additional users on our lake? We don't know if we have a clear answers to those questions. The other question is our water diversion license. Right now, the Alberta Environment is expecting us that the other additional users will come in on our water license. We're already at about 50% capacity on our water license. So what happens with additional users? Are we going to be able to grow and develop as a city with additional users on our license? The other thing is our interprovincial agreements with downstream users. Like, what happens if we restrict water flow to downstream users? How does that impact the agreements that are in place right now? So no one can answer me clearly about questions regarding those interprovincial agreements. And there's never been a study on our water treatment plant to say what is the negative impact on our infrastructure for treating water. There's been other studies, but there's never been the studies to clearly state what impact it has. And our taxpayers have been paying for this infrastructure, and I don't feel it's fair that they should have to be negatively impacted.
Thank you. This next question is from Cold Lake's neighbor, Mayor of Bonnyville, Ernie Isley. As our viewers may or may not know, there's been a lot of pressure on Cold Lake to participate in a lot of regional politics. And whoever is elected will have to deal with these issues. So we did take a question from him. Mayor Isley writes, the previous council either withdrew or chose not to participate in at least 4 regional initiatives. The regional airport, the regional water line, the Canusa Ridge Ski Chalet, and the joint bid with the MD of Bonnyville and the town of Bonnyville for the 2013 Senior Summer Games. If you are elected mayor of the city of Cold Lake, are you prepared to work with your neighbors to promote Northeast Alberta? Take us away.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll just talk about the senior games that has been proposed to us, and although we really wanted to be part of that program because it does showcase our city and we're very proud of our city, but because we've just venturing out into fundraising for a new arena, for a new event center, we just felt that with all the fundraising that we need for that we wouldn't be able to handle fundraising for another big event, because we just had the Alberta Winter Games in 2010 and we had to do a lot of fundraising for that. So we just felt that the city was saturated right now with fundraising, and so we just opted not to participate at this time. And the other two were the chalet and the airport.
The chalet and the airport?
Yeah, the airport. I'd like to talk to that. Our airport, existing municipal airport, is certified, and we felt that we wanted to enhance that service that we provide to our municipality, and we just felt we just couldn't afford to partner on another venture that was going to exist in Bonnyville. And the ski chalet, I do believe that that was the MD that they had decided to upgrade for the Alberta Winter Games, and because we were fundraising for the other parts of the Alberta Winter Games, we decided not to participate in that.
Okay, and we will turn it over here. I will re-ask the question because it is a long one for you, okay? Mayor Ernie Isley writes, the previous council either withdrew or chose not to participate in at least 4 regional initiatives. The regional airport, the regional water line, the Canusa Ridge Ski Chalet, and the joint bid with the MD of Bonnyville and the town of Bonnyville for the 2013 Summer Games. If you are elected mayor of the city of Cold Lake, are you prepared to work with your neighbors to promote Northeast Alberta?
Well, I'm prepared to work. We have been working with the town of Bonnyville, and MD of Bonnyville did a really successful Race the Base event that I challenged Mr. Isley to compare it with anything else that's been done in the region in terms of bringing the showcase of our region throughout Alberta. He's got a couple facts wrong. The city council never pulled out of the regional airport. That's a misconception on his part. There's no documentation that council ever pulled out. Certainly the ski chalet council never got a request from the MD of Bonnyville to participate. The MD of Bonnyville Kinnessoo Ski Hill is probably the best recreational facility in all of northeastern Alberta. It's an amazing facility. Certainly City of Cold Lake residents use it quite a bit. In terms of the water line, we've discussed that. Right now Mr. Isley needs to respect council's right now putting a hold on the water going to Bonnyville. And he needs to, if he's worried about working as a region, he needs to respect that as a region we need to be concerned that the Cold Lake water remains as pristine as it is and that all users are looked at. And in terms of the other one with the seniors, like Deborah was saying, council at the time this year said, well, we have to be careful about how we spend money. We just had done the successful Winter Games, which of course he doesn't comment that we hosted with Bonnyville very successful Winter Games with the MD of Bonnyville. So, you know, it's all relative, but I don't think we should always be pointing at the negatives.
Okay, so that last question from Mayor Isley was fairly involved, and I think we're just going to drop the timer now, and we're just going to open it up here to a free-for-all, because that is a couple of things there that I want to pick up on. Obviously, there's a little bit of friction between, you know, Bonnyville and Cold Lake on some of these issues. How do you think that you would handle that if you were elected?
Well, the only issue that I know right now that's existing is the water line. And like I stated earlier, we have questions that have not been answered. And until I know that, you know, how does that affect our diversion water license? How does that affect our infrastructure for our water treatment facility? And how does that affect our interprovincial agreements? I don't believe the Commission should continue on with any support for the project until those questions are answered. That, to me, I think is the main issue that exists right now.
Okay. And what do you think, Craig? I mean, you've obviously been sitting in this chair for a term. What does promote Northeast Alberta mean?
Well, you got to work as a region, and unfortunately, when you've got 3 different municipality governments inside the MD of Bonnyville, you're going to get all this friction until you move towards a regional government where you've got, say, 7 elected officials making the decisions for the region, which is basically, say, the inside of the MD of Bonnyville, which the City of Cold Lake and the town of Bonnyville sit inside. Until you get rid of all these municipal officials, you're going to have all these turf protection. And that's what's going on here. And Mr. Isley needs to respect the decision of our council, just like we do in Bonnyville.
Of course, and let's talk a little bit about taxes. I mean, that's a really big sort of infrastructure deficit. You know, how did it get there? How are we gonna deal with that? Whoever.
Okay. Well, I think over the years, what previous councils had done is utilized reserves to balance the budget, and didn't really put any effort into fixing the infrastructure. So
would you agree with that too, Craig? I mean, that's
well. Man, there's only so much money. There's $23 million right now to operate the city. Reserves are getting healthy. This council and the previous council started moving money into reserves, like Deborah's saying.
Yeah.
We need $150 million. Like right now, we've got told, council got told $50 million sewage lagoon. How in the world are you going to fund that?
Sorry, continue.
Well, yeah, I can't say much more than, yeah, we have this huge infrastructure deficit and it needs to be dealt with. So I believe that I don't want our taxpayers to have, you know, taxes that are going to go through the roof. Nobody would be able to afford to live in Cold Lake. So the only other fix is to go to the province and, you know, and keep to lobby. Got to be in their face. We got to tell them that we need help here. And I only see it as 2 other options, as to go to the Oil Sands Secretariat and have, you know, they've said they're going to do another review for our city, and I think that's very hopeful for us right now, very encouraging. However, no funds have been committed to date. So, you know, we still need to continue to work with that office, with the Secretariat, but at the same time, I believe that we need to go to our AUMA, our provincial lobbying organization, and ask them to lobby on our behalf for all urban municipalities that are faced with the same impacts from the oil sands development, and have them find a solution that will fix the disparity in the province and how the oil revenue is dispersed.
Just jump in for a minute.
Sure.
It would go back way back in that previous council when Ray Coates and Hans Thalbasar were the mayors of the Grand Centre and Cold Lake respectively. They were working with the Minister of Municipal Affairs at the time and recommending that we look at 3 municipalities: the municipality of Cold Lake, the municipality of Bonnyville, the municipality of Lac-La-Biche. If they would have followed that vision, we probably wouldn't be here today.
Well, thank you very much, candidates. We have closing statements right after this break.